Hey folks, we're here in St. Ignace for the truck show. So many trucks. I am in heaven. There are old, there are new, there are so many trucks. I am losing my mind. As you can see, it's kind of cloudy, but it's starting to break up. We're gonna try and see what we can get accomplished here today. But one thing's for sure, we want to try and make it as close as humanly possible to making it like you're right here enjoying the experience with us. And let me tell you, there are so many friendly people, and I've said it, there's so many trucks. I can't wait. So come on, let's get going and check out this show. Hi, I'm here with Gary Wasco, and while we were walking through this show, a set of stacks caught my attention, and this cabover is absolutely gorgeous. You want to give us the rundown on this?
Okay, it's a 1975. It's got a V12 Detroit in it, and it's not the original engine because they ended up burning that one up, but it's got the original style V12 Detroit 71, and it's got twin turbos and twin blowers.
Very nice.
And then we stretched it out and put a new air ride suspension on it, so it'd ride better because it was all spring ride in '75. There was very few air rides then. And it got a 13-speed in it, and we just fixed it up from what we had as when it was original. We were second owners, and the first owner put about 70,000 miles on it. Found out he was full of cancer, and we took over his payments, and we went from there. And then we had a wreck with it, and it got totaled out basically. So it was going to take eight months to get parts to fix it, and it was the only source of income. So they traded it in wrecked and bought a brand new one, and then we found it back in, I'd say in the 90s. Sometimes we bought it back, and then we tore it apart, did all the things to it, and fixed it up.
Nice. Now, is this the original paint scheme on this?
No.
Oh, we're losing the sign.
Wind is helping.
Folks, this wind is not helping us today. So it looks like you did a lot of chrome work too.
Yeah, there was, well, back in the day, you know, they didn't do much. That was an aluminum bumper, totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you hit a bird, it dent it.
Yeah.
So we went and had bumper made for it, and like I said, I did a lot of things, but they're usually all Freightliner related. You know, there's not different oddball things. It's all Freightliner. So it turned out real well. I mean, when we put rack pinion steering on it, which Freightliner had that in their new Cascadias, and I adapted it to that, and they said, yeah, you can't do that. Now, why not? We know guys that know how to run machine shops, so we got it handled.
That's usually how it goes, man. I hear that story a lot, you know. Now, for the folks that don't know at home, there's these two giant stacks in the middle of this cabover. What's that about?
That's the air cleaners. That's where it sucks fresh air in, and it comes down into the turbos, which then pushes it to the blowers, and then goes to the intake. And the outside ones are your exhaust. And if you like, I can fire it up if you want to hear it. It's kind of...
we always love it when people want to show off the trucks. That's what it's about.
I mean, that's what we do. It'd be a little cold rally right off the bat. Yeah, we might as well. It's just when it gets cold, it don't like to fire right out of the box.
Oh! Purring like a kitten.
Oh yeah, she hums really nice. That's like a lot of people like to see the engine as well as the paint. You know, some want to see the cab up, some down.
Oh, we love it. The more folks show us about their truck, you know. Now, did this come with a single inlet, or was that dual from the factory like that?
No, this was not. They used to take air. There used to be an air filter on top of the engine, and the air came in the front. It didn't have turbos in original days. It only had what they called fresh air aspirated.
Yeah.
This, with this newer engine, when he blurred that other one up, this one went to turbos, and the Detroit rep told me, you don't got enough air going to it. You got to get more air. So we put this on it, and he said then we'd be fine.
We're getting a crowd now. There she goes. It's warming up now. Now, about how many hours would you say you got into restoring this?
I really don't know how to answer that because it was over a couple of year process. You know, you work a little hours here, a couple hours there, and you know, it took a long time to get it done, but...
Okay, well, I guess better question, how many years was
this is probably about a 3-year project for us.
Nice.
You know, because the frame was cut to put the suspension underneath it, and then, you know, basically everything changed. You put a newer style 13 in it compared to our old style, because it shifts smoother and it runs quieter, you know, and then you had to make your own drive lines and all that kind of stuff, you know.
I noticed this is white Freightliner.
Yeah, Freightliner, I mean, they started out original, it was Freightliner, then they merged with White Motor Company, and then it was developed White Freightliner, and then as time went on, they broke apart again and they went back to just Freightliner. It was like, I think it's 79 or 78, no, 77, they changed and then they went back to just being a Freightliner, not a White Freightliner.
Yeah, I was saying it was, when this caught my attention, I was like, you don't see too many of those. Like, a lot of guys don't even know about those ones. You know, they just hear Freightliner, but White Freightliner is kind of one of those little tiny pins in history.
Well, and that's the whole thing about the grill in the front. That's all radiator. It's over a 2,000 square inch radiator back in 75, and it was all designed for high horsepower. They had all these like 4 1/4 cats, 450 cats, and 600 Cumminses, or the V12 Detroit, because they couldn't cool them. And the only companies, there was a couple of different companies that had them, and Coors Brewery was one, and then they had a guy, I think, out in California. But that was because of the big grill. There was only 485 of these ever made between the years of like a 71 and 79. So there's very few of these in the countryside.
Yeah. That's why I was like, we got to get an interview with that guy. Now, you said your father started all of this.
Yeah.
Can we meet your father? Is he here today?
Yep, he's right here. This is my
right.
dad, Gerald Bosco.
Hi, Gerald and Terry. Nice to meet you. Now, he says you started this. Are you the one that originally purchased the truck?
Well, a friend of mine bought it brand new. He
Right.
put 60,000 miles on it, and he developed cancer, lung cancer, and he wasn't going to make it. So he called me, and I looked at it. 75, it was pretty hard to come up with enough money, but he was going to lose it, so I took over the payments. And I put, well, I don't know, 100 and some thousand miles on it.
More than that, it was up to 300.
Before we wrecked. Some girls hit me head on the river bridge on 94.
Yeah. So now when that happened, like what, did it like push the motor back or something?
Yeah, it broke the cab loose and the cab tilted up, and I was looking over the railing down at the water in the river, and then the cab went back and the car was stuck underneath the trailer.
Ah, man. Is everyone okay?
Oh yeah,
All right,
yeah, the
thank
girls
God.
were on their way to college. Yeah, they were okay, everybody was fine.
Now, did you have any idea at the time that you bought this truck that it would be such a big part in
Well,
Shell's years to come?
yes and no. I mean, it was very special when we bought it, and we was doing a lot of work between home and Philadelphia, and I could pass the Greyhound buses without moving the stick on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, but it had plenty of power.
Well, folks, thank you very much for your time.
Very well.
We got a lot
Yeah.
of interviews we got to get to, and just thank you again. I first saw this next truck a couple months back at the Dundee show. Oh man, I knew it was something special. I got a couple of glimpses of the motor, and obviously I saw most of the body. But the thing that always irked me was I was never able to see the interior of this truck because there were so many people flocked around it. Well, lucky for us, it was here at the St. Ignace show, and the owner was nice enough to give us an interview. I'm here with Cole Johnson and Chad Smith. This truck speaks for itself. So how did all this get started?
Well, this is since from the time that my dad started buying trucks, then I bought the company from him, and the trucks that I had bought, this was the 100th truck that's been bought.
Wow.
So we decided I wanted to do something special for it. I wanted to keep it for myself, just as when I get to drive, this is the truck I drive. It was certainly not planned to go this far. It started out as just a mild build. We wanted to do something cool, and as we did one thing, it was hey Chad, why don't we do this too? And it did. It snowballed, but we're super happy with how it came out.
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Now, just in the paint alone, about how many man hours would you say went into this?
Mikey had a ton of hours. Mikey's a good friend of ours. He's dating my cousin, actually engaged to my cousin, or will be. He did all this striping, all the painting. He's got I couldn't even tell you how many hours. I could look through my billing and tell you how many hours, but no. Mikey did a great job. He's been to a lot of shows with us and helping us set up. Just all around good guy. Woods Rod and Custom. He's actually out of Woods Rod and Custom in Freeport, Pennsylvania. Hundreds of hours. I mean, we have between Cole and a little bit of me and Cole again. There's probably 200 hours of sanding in the interior to get it all smoothed out.
I mean, the interior is beautiful on this truck. Where'd you guys come up with the idea for the paint scheme? Like, what was it that, you were just like, oh, I want these colors? Or...
Well, actually, I had a truck ordered for the 100th truck, and it was going to be Plum Crazy Purple. And it was a glider, and it fell through when they started doing limiting the gliders. And I actually found this truck at Hunter's truck sales in Pennsylvania. It was on the lot, these colors. So the frame was already blue. We re-sprayed it so it's shinier, but it was already these basic colors. And I saw the two color combinations, and I loved it. So we can't take credit for the colors. They had it ordered in there, and we just ran with it. Yeah.
Now, I would imagine pretty much anytime you stop with this truck, you probably get people coming up and like a daily event, pretty much.
For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. Somebody's always got something to say anyway.
Hey, like every time you go to get a load, are you like, easy? You know, honestly, I'd be scared to drive this truck anywhere. I mean, it's just so pristine. Like you said, that the man hours in the cab is immaculate. It's very impressive. In fact, I was telling them I seen this truck at the Dundee show. I didn't even get to see the cab. There were so many people swarmed around it at that show. But so, I mean, what's it like daily driving this thing?
It isn't daily driven yet.
It's not daily driven yet.
Not yet. No. We've hauled a few loads with it. We've mostly been here and there to shows with it. So we're gonna. It's still gonna stay fairly limited until after Louisville again next year. And then at that point, you know, I'm gonna try to use it a lot more. But no, it's.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to you guys. I can't stop looking at the truck. You know. Now I notice. I mean, just the detail, like that look on the center hubs of that thing. Now, was that something aftermarket that you bought, or did you guys custom make those?
Roadworks makes those axle covers.
Those are gorgeous. Everything about this truck. There's literally no spot on this truck you didn't look that you don't see something.
Funny story about those is they changed the hubs on this, and we were a week before Louisville, and we were putting those on, and they didn't fit. They went on, and there was a gap. It just didn't look right. He's got a picture, actually it posted on our Facebook page. He's got a picture of me with a grinder and sparks flying on this thing. Grinding the hubs down to fit
He said you'll fit. You'll fit. Get on there.
Made them fit, yeah.
So I noticed you've branched out, obviously. You've got 4 trucks here. How many show trucks in all? Are these your show trucks? I know you said you have.
No, these are our daily drivers.
Those are your daily drivers?
Yes, we've got 26 trucks, and I'm going to say 20 of the 26 are of that caliber.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
So
the other 3 are pretty normal for the rest of the fleet.
The rest of the fleet, yeah, that's fairly consistent with
those
what we
are.
have.
I mean, every single one of them. I mean, we'll get to those in a second. But so this is what started it all. You said, and you said that you kept adding on and adding on. What was like the first thing? Was it just the paint scheme, or was there other things that came before that kind of led?
Once the fenders and the deck plate got striped,
I think it's the fenders.
Well, and then once the dash came out, we didn't stop.
Yeah, because we'd always talked about pulling a dash fully out. We never pulled one completely out. And he looked at me one day, because we had what we'd normally take out, and he's like, "Let's do it." And I must have been a weak moment or something. I'm like, "All right, let's go." And we did. So we had the entire inside of this truck, the cab, sleeper, everything. It was sheet metal and wires.
Well, Cole was right, though. I mean, I had to give it to him. But all right. Well, now what do you got under the hood of this? Can we walk this way?
Yeah.
As you can see, it doesn't stop at the cab and the fenders and a pretty paint job.
It started out the 605 Cummins, the X15, and actually, when I got with PDI, we ordered a twin turbo setup and a manifold and everything for it, and it was red manifold, and it was the uncoated turbo setup. And through corresponding with them back and forth, that we were getting this truck ready for Louisville. It was about a month before Louisville. They called me and asked how the build was going, and I told them we were doing good, we were going to make it. And at that point they asked me, they're like, do you have any interest in swapping out parts? So we got with them. They swapped out for the chrome stuff because it was going to be there in the show. We ended up setting up right next to their booth down there.
Good advertisement for them.
Yeah. But it's about 750 horsepower, and it's all still emissions compliant. It all runs through the emissions. In fact, with the PDI setup, it runs cleaner into the after treatment than what a factory Cummins does.
Wow. It's actually pretty impressive. All right. Well, guys, thank you for the interview.
Sure. No, thank you.
Keep doing it. You guys are doing it right.
Sure.
Okay. This truck caught our eye. We're up here in St. Ignace right now for the truck show, and just whenever you see a truck like this, it just gets you in the feels. So, Dave, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown on this truck? Like, what's the story?
2018 Coronado. A lot of the chrome stacks and the side chrome got replaced by Chrome Shop Mafia, but all the artwork was done on a good friend of mine was stationed with Howard King. He did the artwork on both sides, and we had it cut out into vinyl graphics and displayed on the truck.
It's beautiful. What's your friend's name? I see his autograph
Yep,
there.
his autograph, Howie King. He's actually a guard over in one of the Afghanistan embassies right now, and he does really good work. And I was stationed with him for 8 years.
That's a long run. You were over in Afghanistan for 8 years?
Yes, sir.
That's a long run. Like I was telling you a minute ago, I've had some cousins, Drew and Mike, that were over there.
Yeah.
They were there for 2. So 8, that's a long time, man.
It was off and on over an 8-year stretch.
That's still, that's a lot to go through. So what made you decide to do this, make this tribute truck here?
It's something, always in my heart, and I always wanted to do something like this for the company and for myself, so I can go down the road riding with pride.
About how many hours do you have into this truck?
I've had this truck for about 1.5 years now, and since day one I've been working on it, so I've been adding little things here and there. I wouldn't even be able to tell you how many hours.
I never get a straight answer. Never. So, okay. So now is this like kind of something that's in like a family tradition, trucking and military?
Actually, I'm the first one. Military's a family tradition, but I'm the first trucker.
Okay. All right. Now, so is it like father, son, grandpa, or?
Nope. I actually got my CDL in the service, and I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grow up. I still don't. So when I got out, it's Northern Logistics offered me a position, and I haven't been happier since.
It's a nice truck. Now, what does this thing haul on a normal basis?
I'm usually hooked to a flatbed, and we do a lot of local businesses right out of Eau Claire and up north around Boyne City. So we do a lot of customers out there. But anything that pays good, that's the main thing. We have such a variety of customers between snowmakers, JB Webb, a little bit of everything. So
yeah, I noticed you've got even the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer just turned out beautiful for the veterans. The owner of the company, Steve Shunk, he actually surprised me with the trailer for this truck show, and I have to admit, I had some tears come to my eyes.
Beautiful truck. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
for the interview.